put the F back in wrestling.
Elbow drops and lariats from the top rope. You can't cope. The Effin' Wrestling Podcast in the house. Now that's dope. Starcade and SummerSlam all rolled into one. Drop kick, sleeper holes, 1, 2, 3, done. Whole mics like Mean Gene or Gordon Soley. I'm Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with that Racket trophy. So listen closely as we approach the final hour in an instant. Hands raised, crowds phase without the time limit. Effin' Wrestling Podcast with that ultimate finish. Suplex, now you end it. Yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the show. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? I'm JR.
Right.
I'm JR.
I'm Chase.
And combined with our powers combined, we are
Effin' Wrestling Podcast for fans, by fans, on all things professional wrestling.
Definitely. Last night, today's Thursday. So last night, Wednesdays, we usually record on Thursdays.
Yeah, it's the Wednesday night. We had the Wednesday night wars last night.
Yeah. I don't know how much of it you caught.
I did not catch a lot, man. I haven't had a lot of time. I didn't see any of NXT yet, so you'll have to fill me in on that. But I did see a little bit of AEW. Yeah. I saw that fantastic parking lot brawl between the Best Friends and Santana Ortiz.
That was impressive.
Dude,
that was impressive.
That was dangerous, man. Some of the spots that Trent Beretta was hitting. I mean, when he got slammed, powerbombed into the windshield, you're getting sliced and diced.
That happened after he got powerbombed on the hood.
I know.
On top of the car. He got slammed on top of the car, and then he got thrown powerbombed into the windshield.
That was a match that made everybody look really good. Like Santana and Ortiz looked really good in defeat, and the Best Friends just took on a massive win. Orange Cassidy just popping out of the trunk.
Yeah.
Was just well timed. I don't know how they did it. I don't know if it couldn't have been a gimmicked car. But when they put, was it Santana they put under the hood and then they swanton. That looked mean. That was one of the most dangerous spots I've seen. I've never seen that before.
That match was beautiful.
Dude, it was
great.
Well
timed.
timed.
Was great.
And it was the perfect cap off. And how better way to end a show than Trent's mom Sue giving the middle finger?
I sent you the video last night.
I know, dude. I meant to message you back, but I was passing out right when I got it, and I went, "They did it!"
That was perfect. It was.
I hope she comes back. I want that mini fan to come back.
She's a part of the show.
She's my favorite. You know what? I know we've done managers, and I didn't mention her, but I think she's my favorite.
Moving up there.
It's just so. Again, man, I know in the last episode I mentioned how I wanted the Super Friends and I wanted her to manage it because I love the idea.
It was perfect timing. That was perfect.
And I keep thinking about that idea and throwing it around in my head, and it makes me happy. Mm-hmm. Anything that makes me happy, I just want to see in the real world.
Right. No, it was perfect fitting because the way that story just finished out. It was way it played out. It was perfect. It was good.
I know FTR took on Jurassic Express, right?
Yeah, and FTR's. That might have been their best match in AEW so far in AEW.
Jurassic Express is a great team. It's only a matter of time before they have those belts.
Yeah, and it was just the finish just was so old school, man. It was just I don't want to ruin it for you unless you don't, you know what I mean? I don't want to ruin it for anybody who didn't see it yet.
You know what? I will go. I'll go once we're done.
Check it out.
I'll go catch up on all my wrestling. Mm-hmm. So right now you're just enticing me. If anything, FTR takes on Jurassic Express, and it's like a highlight match.
Yeah,
and
it was perfect.
I know it was a good match. You've given some shit to Jurassic Express, so for you to praise this.
No. I like Jurassic Express.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a fan of Luchasaurus's mask.
All right.
Or Marco's stunt. Now, I understand Marco's stunt. I get him. I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But with Luchasaurus's mask, I just don't get enough. I'm just not able to suspend my disbelief enough.
Well,
because the way it extends out and it has horns. You know what I mean?
They are. You know how I know we're getting really good at this podcast thing? Because right there, what we just did was actually the perfect bridge to what tonight's episode is about, ladies and gentlemen. Because effing wrestling is going to tell you about the best foreign objects in professional wrestling. And JR, I think what you just described, Luchasaurus's mask counts as a foreign object. It protects his face from getting damage. He can headbutt somebody and it would hurt them harder. He has horns.
The only thing is just I don't think it can be considered a foreign object because it's not foreign to the match. Because it's already a part of the match. You know what I mean? A foreign object comes in from outside of the match or out of your trunks or underneath the ring or he's already weird.
It's funny you mention that because I have one on my list.
Let's go. What's up?
That equals that. Okay, so you want to hop into it? We're not going to follow any normal order. So what's your opinion on this? If it comes to the ring and it's a part of the match, then what did you think about D'Lo Brown's chest protector?
I have it written down on my list.
No, why? Because D'Lo Brown, A, is the man.
Yeah.
B, the lowdown is one of the best high-flying moves.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say this, addendum, Leo Rush did it better.
Ooh.
But that's a different conversation. You know what? That's a conversation for another episode. But you know what?
That's not even going to be much of an argument, though, because I agree. Leo Rush is just beautiful.
D'Lo Brown and Leo Rush are just great.
I mean, that's just
Leo Rush is the
anyway. But yeah.
The chest protector. Because remember, he put some damage in a match and started wearing it for his rib protector.
Mm-hmm.
But then it just became something to protect him from from attacks. I know people would splash on him in the corner, and they would get hurt. It intensified the lowdown.
Yeah.
So and they would have it removed so they could. Now they're using. I know Val Venus put it on in some match and used it against D'Lo Brown. So I mean,
he won titles. He won titles with that thing,
dude. He is. When I think of the European title, I know he was Intercontinental Champion and European, but he's my favorite European champion, hands down. I mean,
that's gonna be a show. That's gonna be a show one day.
I'm looking forward to when we list our favorite champions and all the belt divisions. I like because some have really good lineages and some don't.
Right.
And some have very interesting, again.
But anyway, the vest thing.
The vest.
I wrote down D'Lo Brown's vest also, but I had also wrote down might not be foreign. Like I was going to talk about this.
It's a good discussion, man. Because it does bring into the ring, and they count it as oh no, it's medical.
Yeah.
Even though I'm looking at a photo of it right now, and there's metal studs all over it.
Right.
And I'm sitting around going, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a weapon. And it was so loose on him, too, at times. It's not really snug. What's it protecting?
Right.
But it was a neat gimmick weapon.
Yeah.
So
totally agree.
I was a big fan of that.
That's a good one, man.
He played it into the match. It was just one of those things that it was always subtly there. You had opponents even argue against it going, hey, what am I supposed to do about this?
What am I supposed to do about that?
If I punch him, I hurt my fist. And so it was a good way to play. I think that's one of the best way that a foreign object can be brought to the ring is if it's a heel and they know how to hide everyone. No, it's part of my character. It's not a weapon.
It's not a weapon. It's part of me.
A weapon.
Yeah.
And just so they can use it when the back's turned.
Right. That's a good one, man. I love it. That's a good one.
Thank you, sir.
One of my favorite. And not because it was used in the matches as much, but just because it was the entrance. Al Snow.
Dude.
Edge.
Yes.
Yes. That
it's on my list.
Loved it. I loved Al Snow because of that.
Absolutely, dude. I was a huge Al Snow fan. When he had helped me written across his head and his head.
Yeah.
And he would always great speak to it.
Great talk to it and everything. Hilarious.
I can't remember if it was on. I can't remember what pay-per-view event it was on. It might have been a King of the Ring, or it might have been Backlash. It might have just been. I cannot recall, but it was Al Snow versus Brian Christopher and Scotty Q Hottie before they were too cool. They were still a heel group.
Yeah.
And Jerry Lawler was their manager, their spokesman, because Brian Christopher was Jerry Lawler's kid.
Right.
And it was this handicap match that wasn't a handicap match because it was Al Snow and Head versus Brian Christopher and Scotty Q Hottie. Okay. Really, that's a handicap match.
Definitely.
But Head has no body, so there's nothing to pin.
Yeah.
So it becomes this whole thing of going, well, how am I supposed to pin this? It's a head. And it's this funny thing where Jerry Lawler throws in a bottle of Head and Shoulders and they connect head to the bottle of Head and Shoulders, and so now Head has shoulders, and they pin the bottle of Head and Shoulders. And I'm just as a kid watching this, going, that's how you do that. That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, and Al Snow.
That's great,
dude. It was such a cool gimmick, man. And
so cool, man. So cool.
The way he really utilized it, he made Head feel like an honest character, even though he started doing the gimmick on ECW and just carried it on over.
Just carried it over.
Oh, dude, I love that.
No, it was one of my favorites, man. I loved it.
Yeah, because it was part of his character. Again, it was
the first Wilson. It was the first Wilson. You know what I mean?
Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's like
just hilarious.
I really feel like there needs to be a meme out there. Hey, effing wrestling fans, if you make memes, go to our Facebook page or our Twitter account and do like Al Snow as like Tom Hanks and Head as Wilson, and just go Wilson, but those two, please.
There you go.
That'd be greatly appreciated.
That'd be sweet.
So sticking with character traits and then ones that people brought to the ring.
Okay.
I know you're a fan of this from previous conversations. The guitar, either be the Honkytonk Man or Jeff Jarrett.
Right. Both
guys were notorious for breaking guitars over their opponent's heads.
Loved it.
I mean,
I love the Honkytonk Man, yo. Loved it.
Longest reigning Intercontinental champion.
Yep.
Still has that record.
Loved him. Oh yeah.
He infuriated me. He did his job. He did that heel job, man.
He was such an asshole. Might have been a little racist, whatever. Who knows?
Yes.
Whatever.
He was an Elvis impersonator, so
amazing.
I'll say either way.
Man.
I was never a fan.
Roll. Loved it.
I was never a fan of him, man. I think because I was supposed to.
Could you imagine getting hit in the head with the damn guitar?
Well, it was always that
or on the back with it,
so well.
And it don't break.
Jarrett would always jump off the top rope and hit him with it.
Right.
And it always had that perfect ring around their neck because he would bust both sides. And it was just the ring, the body of the guitar hanging around their neck. And he would always just try to play it.
Yeah.
I mean,
but wrestling's not real though. They're not hurt. That doesn't hurt at all. Wrestling's not real.
No. I can't remember who had the quote though. Oh, I don't want to give it to someone, the wrong person, but the quote is, Jeff Jarrett broke 1 million guitars and never drew any money.
Wow.
And it was just because he was never a top draw. You know what I mean?
Top guy, yeah.
I mean, he was always like Intercontinental champion, and he won the mid title in WCW, but that's during like the 2000 years.
Yeah, it didn't matter at that time.
The Wasteland.
Everybody was winning. WCW. It was bad. But man, it sucked because he was always one of the most hated or loved characters.
Honkytonk or Jeff Jarrett?
Jeff Jarrett.
He sucked.
Huh?
I just never. The only time I was ever a Jeff Jarrett fan was when he was a tag team partner with Owen Hart, and it was Owen, Jeff, and Deborah McMichaels.
Right.
And I just kind of liked that tag team, and that's just like Owen. I think Owen kind of just worked with Jeff Jarrett, and they would still use the guitar gimmick, busting over their heads. Because Owen was a cheap heel, Owen flew to foreign objects for a while in the '90s. I can't remember when. Rocked the a cast on his arm for longer than he needed to, and used that to hit people.
Got you.
And I mean, that's a foreign object that would be often used. It's just like going, I'm injured. Here's a cast.
Yeah. Me, so that's a good one though. Yeah, that's a really good one. The guitar, I loved it.
It's a classic, man.
I have it on my list also.
I mean, pretty much if it's featured in a video game at this point, it's a classic wrestling weapon.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. How about Big Boss Man in the nightstick?
Exactly.
Like, come on, man.
Yes, dude.
Come on, man.
I mean, he would just walk to the ring, just swirling it around,
it and all that shit, and he was good with it. He was good with it. You actually thought that he was a bad guard from a prison.
Yeah. And I liked him more when he came back as a corporation member in WWE or WWF as with Vince McMahon. Just as he was wearing all black tactical gear, he still rocked it. He had slimmed down a lot.
Right.
That's one of those weird things to think about. You go back and watch his first run in WWF as the Big Boss Man, and then when he goes to WCW and he's Big Bubba Rogers.
Big Bubba Rogers.
He's a big guy. Yeah, and then he gets to back to WWE and he's Big Boss Man again, or WWF at the time, and he's Big Boss Man again. He's slimmed down a lot. And it's really impressive to go back and check those matches out, just to go, man, you really got it. Just kind of, it shows what motivation to do at any age. And that was really one of those cool things I go back for. That want to give him credit is I'm almost certain he's passed away, unfortunately.
Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
I believe that Boston passed away.
I believe you're right.
But it was cool.
It's crazy.
Use it.
I'm sorry, what?
No. Like you're saying, man, it was such a cool weapon because initially he was a heel, so he would use it to cheat. And then he became a face, and it just became almost like his prop. It was like what he carried around to go, I'm a cop.
Yeah.
And then he became a heel again, and he used it to cheat.
Definitely. But it's up because I like the foreign objects, especially like the nightstick or others that we'll list that sometimes would like they wouldn't get used the right way. They will try to use it, but it would get reversed somehow. Like
yeah.
I remember, what? Oh, shit. I definitely don't remember the year or whatever, but I remember it was The Rock and Ken Shamrock and Big Boss Man. Remember they had a little rivalry, and Big Boss Man, like I think somebody was trying to throw it to Big Boss Man, but The Rock caught it, I think, and hit Big Boss Man and ended up winning the belt and everything. And
well, that's one of those best things, man, is when the weapon gets like when your whole offense is I'm going to use this weapon against you, and then that just is how you
know it's going to fail sometimes, especially if you're a heel.
You know what? To move on, to stay in the same category as the Big Boss Man, and to mention another great foreign object, the Mounties taser.
Wow.
And talking about examples, I remember when he lost the Intercontinental title to Rowdy Piper.
Wow.
And it's because I remember seeing Rowdy Piper just tase the hell out of the Mountie with his own taser. And you're just going, yeah, you're getting a taste of your own medicine. Ha ha.
Right.
And I just kind of but that was the Mountie's gimmick.
Hell yeah.
He had a really lame theme song. He dressed like a Mountie. Jimmy Hart was his manager. And he had a taser.
Jimmy Hart. Wow. That's crazy. The Mountie, that's
I reached for that one.
I forgot all about the Mountie.
Yeah, back in WWE or back in WWF days when you were a wrestler, you had to have an obscure occupation. That was like the weird thing of going, hey man, so you're a wrestler? Yeah. Well, now you're not only a wrestler, you're a garbage man wrestler. Hey, are you a wrestler? Yeah. Now you're a dentist who wrestles.
Right.
Okay, addendum, quotation. I just got this out there. I wonder if Britt Baker is a fan of Isaac Yankem. She's a dentist who wrestles. He was a wrestler gimmick wrestler who's a dentist.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Wow. Maybe.
You know what? If effing wrestling,
if she's not, I wonder if Adam Cole is. If she's not,
I'm gonna say this right now. When effing wrestling interviews Britt Baker, that's our first question.
There it is.
Are you a fan of Isaac Yankem?
There it is.
That's a good question.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
So yeah, that's my throw out. The Mounties taser to go along with Big Boss Man's nightstick.
All right, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see here. I'll go with we'll go just the steel chair. The steel chair.
It is the quintessential number one. I think if we did rank these and we did a list from 1 to whatever, and not just kind of like, hey man, this one's cool, that one's cool, that would have to be number 1 just because it's a classic.
Probably.
I mean, it's quintessential.
And it's used, man. It's so scary the way like it's been evolved. Like when they'll put somebody's head in it and then stomp on it, or what I mean? It was put your leg in it, and
I think it was a Pentagon match I showed you. No, it was I showed you a Naito match versus Tanahashi. And Evil put Tanahashi's head in the chair and then super kicked it, and you're just sitting there.
No, that shit's scary. That shit's scary, man.
Outside just having
freaks me out, yo.
The hit. What was that?
Oh God.
But and then it's all about how do we make
Bailey just did it to Sasha, I believe.
But 10 count, man. You have 2 accounts in AEW right now of just how dangerous a chair is. Cody on the first event where Shawn Spears came out, and that was supposed to be a tag on the head, and ended up giving a 13-stitch gash to the back of Cody's head, and gave Shawn Spears the new gimmick of the chairman for a little bit. But I mean that made both men.
Yeah.
Look,
that helped AEW so much.
Injury. Shawn Spears delivered this massive injury. Yep. And then recently with the Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara rivalry was filled with nothing but injuries. But the chair shot that initially kicked it off, where Sammy hurled, I think he said he thought it was a gimmick chair.
He picked the wrong chair. I think he picked the wrong chair.
And just cracked him against the head. And this is like that quintessential weapon that you're supposed to go, all right, man, take the flat side and just hit him with it. And look how dangerous it can be on just that whim. So, yeah, dude.
The steel chair, just the generic, just because, there's always a chair around the ring.
Yeah.
Always like that. The ones that's just around the ring, like, it kind of gets me sometimes, or it used to get me sometimes, like, why? Like, it might be on our list, but, like, why the hell is there a kendo stick under the ring? Why the hell is that there?
You know what I mean?
But I love the kendo stick. When Tommy Dreamer he comes to my mind when I think of kendo stick.
ECW, man. Sandman.
He had the
He was kendo stick.
Was it kendo stick? It was the three though. The Singapore.
The Singapore cane. Yeah.
That thing.
That was his bread and butter.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The kendo stick, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Dude, and it just you hear that. Whap! Wow. I mean, look what it did to what was it? That's been the big weapon.
Dominic Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio and Sammy, Seth Rollins rivalry.
Gosh, they beat the shit out of that.
Did you see the photos of Dominic Mysterio's chest after Buddy Murphy? Yes, I'm still calling him Buddy Murphy because it's way better than just
Murphy. Better than just fucking Murphy for sure. Pardon the F-bomb, sorry.
You know what the sad thing is, man? The T-shirts. Yeah. The T-shirts WWE should have had. I'm not your buddy guy. Think about Buddy Murphy walking out of there with a mic going, hey, I'm not your buddy guy. I mean, it would just.
Right.
I think.
Maybe I might switch guy with pal. I'm not your buddy, pal. In the Australian or whatever accent he's got.
Yeah, it all works.
I'm not your buddy. Never mind. I'm not going to try. I'm not going to do that. That's horrible.
That just made this episode my favorite. So, know what else is great outside of chairs?
Go ahead. What's
ladders.
Up? I mean, table. I wrote down TLC, table, ladders, and chairs. I mean, that's just.
I was going to build up going, hey, man, we did chairs, and that's his ladders, and then it has to be tables.
I mean, just all three. They're all.
You did the greatest match out of it. Tables, ladders, chairs. I mean, they're ladders. But the best thing about ladders is it's a weapon, but it's weird to say it's a foreign object. It does come outside the ring. Yeah, you can hit people with it. But there's also that whole, like, hey, man, sometimes it's the stipulation for a match.
Right.
And it's like, oh, hey, we have to use this to climb here to get A, the title, or B, the money in the bank.
Or contract.
Contract, the casino chip.
Yeah.
What have you. Whatever you're suspending. As long as it's not like a Judy Badwell on a pole match, we're all good. We're all good.
Right.
Anything but your mom suspended on above the ring. WCW, Vince Russo really butchered WCW in 99, 2000. I mean, everything was just on a pole and suspended.
Yeah.
Let's get back to how ladders are dangerous. You can drop them on people. You can throw them at people. Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon put on two of their earliest and best ladder matches you've ever seen. And one of them, they didn't even use the ladder as a weapon. They just used it in this. It's just an environmental adversary in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was always a fan of the ladder.
But ladder
and the table, man.
And again, just the way they've evolved from being used instead of just coming down or something on somebody, people putting things, you're stuck in them and then coming down on people, or
putting the table on
top of them, and
they'll
stacking
in another ladder and just land on them.
Yeah,
and that just
crazy.
So uncomfortably and mean.
Yeah, but then the tables. I mean, come on, get the tables.
Get the tables. Dude, I just really. There's something so magical about watching a table break.
Yeah.
That kind of just puts that extra exclamation point on the whole thing. I'm going, whoa. Mm-hmm. We don't break those in everyday society. You just broke a table.
You just broke the table.
Holy shit, what's going to happen here? And then sometimes they set them on fire and they can stack them.
Stacking them.
I love
outside of the ring onto them, flipping on.
What's even worse is when you watch it and it doesn't break, and you're like, "Ow!"
it's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt.
That's every bit of your weight and the momentum just stopping on top of something that was meant to give and kind of cushion.
It just stops your whole momentum. Just,
Man,
I feel good.
I can't imagine.
Can't feel good.
Going back to it, Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara in All Out had one of the worst botches, worst injuries I've seen in wrestling in a long time.
So bad.
Jumping off that scaffolding, thinking a table would break the fall. Matt Hardy missed the table.
Yeah.
His head smacked that concrete. He was gone. That was
bad. It was bad, man. That was scary.
But you sit there going, why would you think a table would stop that at all? I mean, I really advise people, go to YouTube, check that moment out. Like Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara, all in, all out. Which one was it, JR? I think it was
All Out.
All Out,
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was All Out.
Yeah.
And just Matt Hardy tackles Sammy Guevara off this like raised mechanical scaffolding onto the concrete, aiming for this wooden table, thinking this will soften it enough.
Right.
I mean, he just goes limp leg. He can't stand. He's like falling all over the place.
He couldn't move. It was
scary.
It was nasty. But yeah, no, I mean that's the stuff these wrestlers do, man. And sometimes you got to save them from themselves, man. You know what I mean? I understand the doctors cleared him or whatnot. You know what I mean? But
I don't care.
Damn, man, you got to think. You got to stop them from themselves.
You know me, man. I like the adage of comparing wrestling to live theater. More than a live sporting event, I like seeing it as like a moving story with a lot of great fight choreography.
Right.
And, there's that old adage, the show must go on. And I've seen people with the flu go on stage, like they step off stage and they take a gulp of Dayquil and then they step back on to deliver lines. They step off stage and they vomit. I mean, I've seen people work through busting open their lips. But, I mean, injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, same as athletes, same as professional wrestlers.
Right.
But you saw that idea of going, no, you're hurt. Stop. Stop. Even athletes
sit this one out. Sit this one out. Like, and you're done. Like,
the important thing about, I know the adage of, no, there's a paying audience. The show must go on. But it's like, no, the paying audience would rather see you well and safe.
Healthy enough to do it again.
Yeah, be able to do this again. And not
you could tell, but you could see it was just muscle memory. Like how he was just reaching up for him to, you know what I mean? It's just, it's muscle memory at that point. It's just,
it was like autopilot.
Autopilot. Just,
it's going, oh, hey, I'm wrestling a match, and this is just what we do right now. And it was scary, man.
It was very scary.
It was really, really scary. I've never seen someone concussed, and if I have, it's been quite some time, and I just don't blocked it from my mind. Right. That was scary.
Definitely.
Let's get back to some scary foreign objects that aren't going to make us think of real world injuries.
There you go. I'll go here. I'll go, one of my favorite people of all time, the best manager of all time, in my opinion, Jim Cornette's tennis racket.
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
Absolutely. It's on my list as well.
It was perfect.
I mean, he brought it in the ring every time. He just wanted away. Jim Cornette was such a character in and of himself. The red suits, tennis racket, and every time he would hit anyone with it, it would never do anything. It was always just like a fly swatter against these wrestlers.
Yeah.
He would hit him with it.
It was great.
Dude.
But he always, the way he just willed it and just talk his shit, and it was just great, man. The tennis racket was just perfect. I just will always remember it from my childhood, and it's just good memories thinking about it.
Too, man. I mean, that's a sad thing that oh man, so this one just popped in my head. It's not on my list, but it certainly got used. If Jim Cornette had the tennis racket, well then Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South, had the megaphone.
Megaphone.
And that would always get grabbed and hit. I know the Nasty Boys used it a few times.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, dude, he would always have that megaphone. He would just slide it to whoever, and they would just pop someone on the head, slide it right out. Right. It's another beautiful thing, just the ability.
It's just great, just how they would get it into the wrestlers to use.
Yeah.
It, I mean, or how some of the wrestlers would have them. Is it? Go ahead. What? You have another one?
Well, no. I was gonna mention how you said how they would get them to it, and recently also to mention All Out. You had the John Moxley versus MJF, and as of late, MJF is using the dynamite ring. that Diamond Dynamite ring as a foreign object that will be tossed to him. Yeah. And they actually use that as a way for him to lose. Is like Wardlow tries to toss it to him, MJF misses. It was a bit of a botch of between the timing a little bit. Kid, do you see it? Does the audience know you see it? Do I know you see it? And John Moxley and MJF were just a bit off on their moments. But all in all, it was like a neat use of MJF has used this trick to win a number of times against opponents he more or less could beat or lose against more aptly.
Right.
And now it's failed him, especially from his bodyguard Wardlow of all people. So it's just this cool continuing thing.
You can see, I think they're going to end up turning. I mean, something's going to happen with MJF and Wardlow at some point.
Absolutely.
That's going to be good when it does, because Wardlow's actually pretty good in the ring.
Dude, he's solid for a big guy. I'm kind of surprised he was off. I wonder if he was ever offered a contract with WWE, because he's someone Vince would look for.
Vince would love him.
He's giant and nothing but muscle, of course.
Right.
So I got.
So
that's a neat one that I don't think we counted. I didn't see it a lot when I was doing some research. Throwing salt. That traditional salt to the eye.
Always, always.
And I always sat around going, why? Where's that coming from?
Yeah.
What? I get it, man. Salt sucks. You have a cup, salt in the wound, salt in the eyes. It's sort of it's uncomfortable. But sometimes it looks like flour,
right?
Or
sugar, or
it's
powdered
like
sugar, whatever.
Throw it in your
kind
face.
Of powdery substance,
And now just act like you're blind.
Right.
And it's
like that can be tied with like the green mist. The mist.
I think the green mist totally is. I've always wondered where they hid that at. Like,
man, I know it's something that they get somehow and they put it in their mouth and pop it, and I think
it has to be that, because
you know what I mean.
You're not just sitting around the whole match just with like a mouthful of this green goo. Just all right, man. Don't hit me in the gut and make me go.
Right. Yeah. No. So I'm sure they get it somehow from somebody. The ref, or either they have it in their trunks or tights, or somebody gives it to them.
The lovely.
But the green mist or the powdered salt or something like that. Yeah. That's always.
I was a fan of that one myself.
Yeah. Now, like going back to like some of the generic ones, like any champion, like a belt.
I wanted
belt or something. You know what I mean? Like that's always been a good foreign object.
Well, one of my favorite times it's ever used as a foreign object is when it's not used as a foreign object. So one of my all-time favorite heels is Eddie Guerrero. Mm-hmm. I love Latino Eddie Guerrero. He lies, he cheats, he steals. His run with the world champion, beating Brock as a championship when he beat Brock Lesnar, was an outstanding pinnacle moment. The 5-star Frost Splash. I mean, his death is one of those tragedies of the industry, man.
So sad.
Such stories of the guy who's so good on the road, so talented in the ring. He's a generational wrestler.
So good.
But one of his things he would do that I loved more, that if I was a wrestler, I would steal this. It's when the ref's back would be turned and he would have the belt and he would go charging at them, like he was going to hit them, and then he would toss it to them. They would catch it and he would fall right when the ref would turn around. Like the opponent hit Eddie and is holding the evidence, and the ref would go, "Whoa, you just disqualification, the match is out." No, he did this. It wasn't me.
I didn't even hit him.
And then, Eddie would just roll out of the ring, grab his belt, and like laugh his way up the ramp.
So
and it was my favorite way to ever see the prop of the belt used that way.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's great. I agree with that.
It's a chess piece. I can outsmart you with this.
Right.
Like everyone's so used to this. I love it.
That's great.
And I don't think I've ever seen anyone do it outside of Eddie Guerrero.
No, they have recently. Somebody did. Oh shit.
Oh really?
I know somebody did recently. I can't remember. I don't remember who.
Listeners.
But yeah, it has happened recently.
You remember who did that recently? Comment.
Yeah.
Please.
That'd be cool, because I know somebody did use it recently.
Because that is one of my favorite spots in all of wrestling, dude.
I don't remember who it is.
Break it out a lot.
No, that's great.
Every once in a while.
Yeah. Let's see. What about Damien, the Snake?
I was wondering about that. I was wondering if Animal
gotta talk about the Snake. I mean,
I felt like Damien would count, because I also went. So I have Damien as well, and I only want to mention this real quick. because there's like Damien ... Coco Beware's bird ? He never attacked anyone.
He never attacked. Yeah.
No, but it was just
really.
that thought
But
of,
it
like,
was just a.
I was thinking like an animal. Hey, is the animal a foreign object? It's an animal.
Right. Matilda.
Foreign object.
Matilda.
Get Randy Savage.
Right. And Andre the Giant. And Andre. No, but yeah, so like Matilda from the British Bulldogs.
Aww.
No, good old Matilda, beautiful.
I remember that now.
That little bug. But yeah, what about like Brass Knuckles? Brass Knuckles was always a good foreign object.
That's a William Regal thing. I know
throw him out there, yeah.
Often, but I always I always thought that was his finishing move for the longest time.
He used it a lot though. He used it.
That's how he finished most matches. Was just like, oh hey, the refs turn around, let me pop you in the face with Brass Knuckles.
Right. Yeah, he used it a lot, man.
So I know,
and I always love foreign objects just because I always like heels anyway.
Yeah.
So it was just always, I just love when somebody cheated to win, man. It's just always.
Well, then on that, it's always interesting to see when a particular heel uses one. We've covered this, but not like a gimmick foreign object, like a taser with the Mountie or a nightstick with the Big Boss Man, but Triple H and the Sledgehammer are just synonymous.
Yeah.
Like that is his weapon of choice. I feel like he used it against everybody. Shawn Michaels, Sting, Seth Rollins, Batista, Randy Orton. He bust out a chainsaw, a sledgehammer quite often. See, well, there was chainsaw. I was going to say a chainsaw. No one's used that. There was Chainsaw Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
He used a chainsaw Charlie. But Triple H and the sledgehammer are just a synonymous weapon in wrestling. I mean, that's just it's like his broadsword almost.
Yeah, and there's been some crazy shit too. Some crazy foreign objects, man, like weird shit.
Is a dumpster a foreign object?
Sure, fuck it. I mean, sure.
If you bring it to the ring and you put someone in it and you push it off a ramp, foreign object.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. What else do I have? So another one that was interesting. We brought this up when we mentioned the Big Boss Man.
Mm-hmm.
Hacksaw Jim Dunn's 2x4.
2x4. Come on, man. Yeah.
Bring that to the ring.
Hell yeah. Oh my gosh.
You know about the ultimate patriot wrestler right there. I mean, that guy would just hammer home the USA all the time.
All the time. He was all about the USA. For sure. Why not?
And then went evil Canadian in WCW during the bat. You know what this episode's really reminded me of?
What's
How
that?
terrible WCW was in its later run, like 99 and 2000.
Yeah. It got bad, man. It got really bad.
W2000 is like the evil version of WWF 1992.
That's got to be a show. Like we're gonna one show. We gotta just spotlight a year, like 92.
You know what? I think there should be a fun side gimmick episode thing, and we just pick a year. We follow the main events and just go, hey, this was such a good year, or this was a bad year. But either way, just trying to review a year.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Something to think about, man. But this was fun, man. This was cool, man. Took me back to the childhood a lot, man. Man.
This
is a good list. It's a good show.
Like I said, I got a list of them right here. I was like going, what can you hit somebody with in the ring and get in trouble with, but still not get caught before? Oh, no, what? We
didn't really even mention it in the short. We got a little bit like less than a minute or so left. I think, but you know what I'm saying. But we didn't mention like the steel stairs.
We didn't mention the stairs. We didn't mention the
turnbuckles.
We didn't mention Mr. Sacco. That's right.
Wasn't a fan. Was it the dude with the cobra snake thing?
Santino Marrero.
Really? Yeah, my son loved him. That's crazy. But yeah, man, this was fun.
The Money in the Bank briefcase to be used as a weapon.
Any briefcase, yeah, the briefcase. That's a good one. Because several people had the briefcase. That's a good one for
IRS. IRS would carry it. He would always have a brick or two in there. That's what busted the face of Brutus the Barber Beefcake when he had that stupid mask.
Scissors from Brutus the Barber.
He never used
them though. So yeah, but yeah, they were just a prop. They were just a prop, I guess.
The baseball bat. Mick Foley had a baseball bat that was wrapped in barbed wire.
Spikes barbed wires. Yeah.
And recently, Impact had that not recently, this was a while back, but when Eddie Edwards had his orbital bone busted open by Sami Callihan in that botch. It kind of shows you how dangerous, even when you're planning these and going, hey, I'm swinging this dangerous weapon at your head. We're professionals. We know how to. I don't even know. I don't know how people call it fake, man. When you swing a baseball bat at someone's head and you're going, hey, the chair's gonna stop most of the momentum. That's still a baseball bat.
Shit's not fake. You're getting hit with
Edwards it. Had his orbital bone crushed in a match by mistake. That's insane. And you want to know why? Because wrestling is dangerous. And then when you throw in foreign objects,
you just never know how it's. Yeah, because you never really know how it's going to end up for sure.
Just look at it. We've talked about Cody Rhodes and his head bashed in with a chair, which is so common. Yeah. We talked about Matt Hardy getting into concussion, and that guy jumps off everything high spot.
Yeah.
Wrestling is dangerous, and then you add these extra things in to make it more sensational, and it just shows you how far these guys are willing to go to put their own life on the line, that they take things that we didn't know to be. It's respect, man.
Gotta respect that shit. Got to.
Effing wrestling respects effing wrestling.
Definitely, 100%. And that's a great way to end the episode for this week, Chase.
So, hey, JR, I'll see you around the office.
Yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Good times, man. Good times.
Thanks
for joining us, y'all. Thanks for joining us on Effing Wrestling.
Yes. Effing Wrestling. We put the F back in wrestling.
Elbow drops and lariats from the top rope. You can't cope. The Effing Wrestling Podcast in the house. Now that's dope. Starcade and SummerSlam all rolled into one. Drop kick, sleeper holes, 1, 2, 3, done. Whole mics like Mean Gene and Gordon Soley. I'm Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with that Crockett trophy. So listen closely as we approach the final hour in an instant. Hands raised, crowds phase without the time limit. Effing Wrestling Podcast with that ultimate finish. Suplex, now you end it. Yes!